Hello and welcome to my channel, Becoming Bev. I'm coming to you today from Fredericktown, Missouri from our campground, Fred Rock. I've been stationary here for a little bit and I'm really craving a big van adventure. So hopefully I can get myself back out there on the road in the next 3 weeks or so. This week I did have something interesting happen. I tested positive for COVID. So I've been in quarantine, but I'm making the best of it. I'm feeling all right. It started off with just a fever and chills, and then I had a little bit of a cough and some sinus stuff. I thought it was just allergies at first, but sure enough, the Rona finally caught up with me and I tested positive. I'm feeling fine now and I'll be as good as new in a couple of days. Today's video, I thought about this coffee cup that I got years ago, and on the outside of the coffee cup it said advice from the lake. And then it said things like, be clear and make positive ripples, look beneath the surface, stay calm, shore up friendships, take time to reflect, and be full of life. And then, something similar was advice from a mountain, reach for new heights, there is beauty as far as the eye can see, climb beyond your limitations, be uplifting, savor life's peak experiences, rise above it all, and rock on. So I was inspired by that, and I've been thinking about this for a while. So I'm calling it advice from the van. So I came up with my list, and mine goes something like this. Advice from the van. Life is a beautiful ride. Always take the scenic route. Home is where you park it. Be as free as the wind. You have everything you need. Leave your past in the rear view mirror and keep going. You'll get there. So I'm going to dissect some of these. I'm going to go into a few more. Wow, the bugs. Welcome to summertime. So yes, advice from the van. We'll start off with life is a beautiful ride. It's a beautiful ride or it's a crappy ride. It depends on your attitude and it depends on what you decide that it is. You can either make up that it's bad and find lots of evidence to support that, or you can decide that it's good and find lots of evidence to support that. Always take the scenic route. Wow, I have learned that lesson so many times. Like, my favorite trips are the ones where I really just stay off the interstate. And I love the idea of when you see something beautiful, go back and explore it. And sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes you just end up in a weird dead-end street or something, and what you saw you can't quite get to. But sometimes you end up having a magical experience because you took the time and went back to see something. Home is where you park it. I love the idea with the van that when you're creating your van, you're creating a home. You're not just creating a van that you can stay in, but you're really creating like your home on wheels. So when you create it like that, you'll be comfortable wherever you go because you'll have your home with you everywhere you go. Be as free as the wind. Now, one of my favorite sayings is one of my favorite sayings was, I love to see where the wind's gonna blow me next. And I do. I like to have a few things planned, but I also like to have loose plans to see where the wind blows you. You have everything you need, and it's amazing how little you really need. I love to say that I have everything I need with me everywhere I go, and typically it's right within arm's reach. Leave your past in the rear view mirror. So there's a saying, there's a reason that the windshield is so big and the rear view mirror is so small. Use that windshield and find the things to drive toward, to move toward, to go toward. And those things that are upsetting about your past, just leave them behind. Misty once created a little book that was about 150 pages long, and every single page said, let it go. Page 1, let it go. Page 2, let it go. Page 3, no, really, let it go. And that's kind of how I feel about that rear view mirror. Just let it go. Keep going, you'll get there. Sometimes life is going to throw some obstacles in the way and we have to develop a bit of tenacity, but just keep going, you'll get there. So these are some that I thought of that didn't make my list, but they are definitely honorable mentions. So the first one, you may live in a small space, but just look at your backyard. One of the things I love about the van is putting down that back shade in the mornings and just being full of surprises and never knowing, what that shade is going to open up to. So yes, I love my big backyard. Live more with less. There's something really beautiful in the simplicity of van life, having everything you need with you everywhere you go. With van life, I've become pretty picky about what makes it in the van and what doesn't. And everything pretty much has to be multi-purpose or multifunctional. It's amazing how little you really need. It's okay to be a little uncomfortable. Life is uncomfortable sometimes. Sometimes in the van, you're gonna be too hot, you're gonna be too cold, you're gonna be too broke down. But that's part of it. That's part of the natural ebb and flow of life. Sometimes you're gonna be uncomfortable. Laugh at yourself often. One of my favorite sayings is when you're me, it helps to have a really good sense of humor. And I think that goes along for anything in van life. You can let things upset you or you can laugh about them. Either way, the situation is going to be the same and you get to decide how you want to respond to it. My friend Bill has an interesting philosophy when he's traveling because obstacles are absolutely going to come up. They always do. And he'll look at it and instead of getting upset about it, he'll go, well, this is an interesting problem to be solved. So I've kind of taken that philosophy on. When things happen, I just look at it like this is an interesting problem to be solved. Celebrate what's right. I love this when we can get so caught up in negativity and in the media and what's wrong and what's bad in the world and what we should be fearful of and afraid of. And we really forget that there's so much good, there's so much right going on, there's so much to be thankful for. Go back and take the picture. I love this one. And I love it when some of you, like my friend Randy Stevens from the YouTube channel here, sent me a message and he was like, sending me a couple of photographs that he took. And he says, I went back and I took the picture and look what I got. Learn to love the art of meandering. I really love not being in a hurry. I love avoiding the interstates when I can. I love taking those scenic routes. And you really understand, especially in the mornings, you can't be in a hurry. You have to batten down the hatches and tidy up the van and make sure everything's all tucked away before you leave for the day. And there's something really beautiful in the art of slowing down or the art of meandering. There's a whole world out there to explore. Even here at Fred Rock, I took off for a walk one morning and I thought, I'm just gonna look for things that are beautiful that I would normally walk right past. And it's amazing what you can see even just with a simple little walk through the woods. Be adventurous. Say yes when you can. I created a bumper sticker years ago that said yes is where the fun is. I try to say yes as often as possible in life. I have this belief that when you say yes, life gives you even more things to say yes to. Get organized. Life is just easier that way. I remember that first week in the van, my discombobulated first week. I've come a long way since then, and I do think it's really important to be organized in the van. I think it's important to have everything you need right there at your fingertips, and the things that you use every day, having them handy inside the van with you. And then it's also important to put everything back when you're done with it. The van can get really cluttered really easily. So yes, I'm constantly getting things out and putting them away. And that way there's no frustration when I go to find them the next time. The van is a reminder that adventure is waiting. That's been one of the interesting parts about being still and being at the campground all this time is, my van is my everyday driver now. And every time I look at it, it's like, I really want to get out on the road. I really want to do Route 66. I really want to go to Canada. I really want to do the Baja Peninsula, and I'm not doing it. I'm just sitting here helping Misty with the campground and recovering from COVID right now. Yeah, the van is a reminder that adventure is out there and it's waiting for me, and I'm so anxious to get back to it. And then the last one that I want to share with you is the most dangerous risk of all, is the risk of spending your life not doing what you want. Whew. You know, there's that saying about people at the end of their lives, their biggest regrets aren't the things that they did, but the things that they didn't do. It's so crazy, right? The most dangerous risk of all is spending your life not doing what you want. Let that one soak in. Anyways, guys, thanks for being here with me today. Thanks for watching. I also want to give a big shout out and a thank you to all of my viewers, my Patreons, and my channel members. I appreciate you so much. You keep watching, I'll keep posting content.